Welcome back to the channel, guys. This is lesson number 5, and as I mentioned in the previous lesson, we're going to be delving and looking at cubism and abstract art in this lesson, okay? Now we're going to keep it short and sweet. These lessons are aimed and designed for anybody from any level to basically go from knowing nothing about artwork, being able to draw nothing but a stick man, to knowing a little bit about art and the art world and being able to draw something to a professional level, or at least close to that. So again, today's lesson we're going to look at abstract art and cubism. Now, what is abstract art? Well, abstract art can be anything really that's taken away from the norm. So you're not trying to depict any particular vision of reality. You might be experimenting with colour and looking at the colour wheel and just making lines on a canvas to create some visually striking images, okay? Now, I'm going to give you an example of some abstract art which I created, but first let's talk about what some may call the origins of abstract art. So in the early 1900s, so like I think 1907-ish, was an artist called Wassily Kandinsky, and some argue that some of his paintings were sort of the origins of abstract art, but of course these things are always up for dispute, and abstract art could be argued to go back all the way to the Neanderthal times. But anyway, we're going to talk about prominent artworks which we can Google and look at. And if you look at some of Kandinsky's work, it's basically just like block colours sort of meshed together in different patterns, different styles, and he's just exploring light, just exploring colour and experimenting with these things to create these different visual images. And that's what this leads me to here. So all I've done here is get a bunch of colours, okay, a bunch of colours on the card with some water, and just swirled it around a little bit just to see what happens when the colours self-mix, basically, and you come up with something like this. And you'll see a lot of different types of artwork like this in the art world, or if you were out looking for some abstract art, you'd probably find some pieces like this. But you know, all it is really is a little bit of blue, a little bit of green, a little bit of yellow, a little bit of white, a little bit of water, and a bit of mixing. And then you come up with something quite unique. Nobody in the world could ever create something the same as this. You'd get close, but you could never create something the same because of its unique patterns, okay? It'd be impossible. Well, not impossible, because nothing's impossible on the atomic scale. However, digressing as always, this is a piece of abstract art. It doesn't depict anything in reality per se, and it's an experimentation with colour and light and shade and tone. Okay guys, we're going to leave abstract art there for now, okay? I don't want to talk too much about each movement of art because we'll be here for the rest of the year just doing history lessons, which this course is not a history lesson, it's just part of it, okay? So let's talk about cubism now, okay? So just bear in mind some of these artworks are really old, which I created, some go back to when I were in school. So I remember in school we were assigned the task to sort of take on the everyday object and then sort of intertwine it with some particular style that we like. So I took an everyday object, went around taking pictures of everyday objects and everyday things, and my everyday banal object was an outdoor tap. So I made an observational drawing. That was the first task, to create an observational drawing of your subject matter. Okay, this is an observational drawing done with different mediums, bit of pastel, bit of pencil. So that's where the project started. And then next you had to sort of intertwine some style or some movement in artwork which you appreciated or liked. I chose cubism. So I took the tap and then created this for the next piece. So I went back to the tap, took different pictures of it, sort of juxtaposed the pictures together, stuck them together to create this image. And then with this image I created this painting, okay? Now this is a painting done with acrylics and it's on card. So it has some relief, but as you can see you can clearly see that the subject matter is a tap, but it's definitely cubed off in different sections, different angles, different lightings, different tones. So we've got the cold and the green, we've got the reds, the blues. So it's given off a very cubist style of creating artwork. So this is me being inspired by Pablo Picasso, using the everyday object as my subject matter. Okay guys, so that's cubism in a nutshell. Quite like this work actually, it's quite vivid, quite bright, quite vibrant, and it gives quite the shocking impression. Anyway guys, that's going to be enough for lesson 5. I just wanted to delve into abstract art and cubism a little bit more. I wanted to show you some examples of my own cubist work which I've created. So as you can imagine, I'm going to give you a task. Just like in the last lesson, you chose 3 styles or 3 movements in art which you like, and you wrote 3 things about them that you like, and then you wrote 3 facts about them which you like. Now, what I want you to do is pick any object in the world, any everyday object. It could be a phone, it could be a toothbrush, it could be a cup, it could be a slipper, it could be a shoe, it could be a tap. Whatever it is, pick an everyday object and then choose from your styles, okay, whether it's Impressionism, Cubism, Realism, whatever it is, choose your style and then create a piece of artwork based on your style and based on your subject matter. So if you've chosen a shoe and cubism, I want you to basically then think or try and create a shoe with the cubist style with it, okay? Inspired by the cubism movement. Okay guys, and if you want to of course submit your drawings or your artworks to my email at jakeoneilltheartist@gmail.com, that's very much appreciated. I will definitely take a look at your artworks. Other than that, like, share, comment and subscribe, and I shall see you in lesson 6.